All right, posse up, Cowboys. Hopefully, we have a few changes coming online with our way that we score out at the range. Of course, most of you Cowboys are used to pen and paper or pencil and paper score sheets. Well, things are going to change. Hopefully, here in March, we're going to start using the new CAS scoring system, which entails using an iPad and the new competition electronics BT or Bluetooth timers. They're identical to the old timers that we've been using for years, just that they have the ability to transmit via Bluetooth, which will go directly to the iPad, and our times will be automatically put into the iPad. So this video, we're just going to go over some of the equipment we've purchased and how to use it. And again, just for this video, our plan is to just bring you up to speed so that when you're out at the range, if asked, you can just sit down, make the entries that are needed to be made to the scoring program. Everything else, from setting up the software to creating matches, linking up the Bluetooth timers, and all the other stuff, that'll be taken care of for you. And sometime in the future, if you want, we'll have other videos to help you navigate through the different systems on this. But what I have to emphasize is that if you're technology impaired, let's say, and you're afraid of iPhones, iPads, computers, not to worry. This thing is dead simple. It's just different. So hopefully you'll just follow along, understand that there's very little to worry about, and it's just paying attention in detail, just as if it was pencil and paper, making sure you get the right numbers to the right cowboy. So same here, and I hope this video helps. All right, so this is the main screen for the software, an area that you'll probably never see, because remember, we're just getting you up to speed on how to keep score. But somewhere down the road, if you decide to become more involved with the software, this is just an area that you go to create matches, add shooters that are not already in our database. But down below, I put a red line. I just want you to notice that on the bottom of the screen, there are several icons. The center one is the one that we're concerned about. That takes us to the scoring, the actual scoring software. And if for some reason the iPad ever gets off that main screen, you can get back to it by tapping the little gun down there and taking yourself back into the scoring software. And in fact, here's again, the little red line that I put in, and that's the button you would hit to go directly into the scoring part of this app. All right, so we've actually hit that score button, the little gun down at the bottom, and this screen pops up. To the left, you can see that we have 3 shooters in this posse. It says Posse 1. It also says Stage 1 above it. We'll get to that in a minute. But to the right is the actual area that you're going to be concerned with. You see raw time. You see something about PT Link. We'll get to that in a second. And down below you see misses, procedurals, did not finish, and different stage or match DQs. Up in the top right-hand corner, you see a red arrow. This is an area that you just need to keep an eye on, because what that is telling you is the battery capacity of the iPad. And it's important that we do not let it run out of juice. The iPads will probably be either plugged in, especially if we're shooting around the Hoosgow, and the battery running out should not be an issue. Another item that we'll have in our bag of tricks is we will have battery packs to ensure that the iPads last all day. Remember, the iPads are going to be on full blast for several hours, and they will wear down over a period of time. But even the iPad on a full charge should last throughout the day. But just to be safe, we'll have power at the Hoosgow, or we will have battery packs that are plugged into the iPads at the different scoring stations. All right, moving on. There's a line across the top. In this case, is Black Mike Stage 1 New Match. Well, in fact, it normally will not say new match. What it will say there is whatever we name our particular match of that day, whether it's just a date or we give it a name or it says March 2020. So it's important when you just to check, make sure you're scoring on the right match. The next thing it says is stage. It's important, of course, that you make sure the software is scoring on the right stage. The match will have been previously set up. It should have 6 stages if we're shooting 6 stages. And again, ensure that you're on the right stage. And then, of course, the next item in the line is the shooter's name, and we'll talk more about that in a second. All right, so the next big item here is right below where you see raw time. You'll see a button that says PT Link and a couple of numbers. That's telling you that the timer is linked up with the iPad. If it says, if there's no information there, then, or you see a button that says connect, then the timer has lost connection to the iPad. The other thing that is critical is those 4-digit numbers at the end. That identifies the correct timer. So if we are using multiple timers, everybody, again, somebody will have made sure the right timer is connected to the right iPad. If we had several posses, you cannot exchange timers or iPads. They are specifically linked to your group, your stage, your timer, and your iPad. So don't be trading these items around because it'll mess things up. All right. Okay, here we go. You have the iPad. You're sitting at in the Hoosgow. Everything's plugged in, ready to go. And what you're going to do next is you're going to keep an eye on who's at the loading table and who's moving to get staged to actually shoot. So in this case, Black Mike is leaving the loading table, and you go over to the left and you find his name in all the shooters, and you tap his name. Notice that it's highlighted in a kind of a tan color, and notice there's no time next to his name. Notice there's just a little dash that tells you he has not registered a time. So that's it. You've loaded him up. We know from up top, Black Mike is the next person to shoot. Stage 1, correct match. Now we wait. The timer gives him his announcement to be ready. The line's given. The timer says stand by, and you hear a beep. Well, there's still nothing to do except sit and enjoy the shooter and watch their shots. And then at the end, as we always do, the timer yells out the time, and for the shooter to know what his time was, and for everybody to, especially the spotters, to hear it. And at that point, that's when you need to do something, and this is what you do. So the shooter has shot the stage, and you hear the timer yell out, "Time 26:62." And now you hit the read button. And the read button automatically enters the time, and you can now see it as the raw time, both total time and raw time. And of course, the only thing missing now is procedurals and misses. So now the timer looks to his spotters, and the spotters say that Black Mike had 2 misses. So you go down to the point where it says misses, and you click in 2 misses. Now you can look that there's a raw time of 26:62, and now up at the top you'll see that his real time now is 36:62. And now if you look off to the left, you'll see Black Mike now has a stage time of 36:62. Now it's time to just move on to the next shooter, and that'll be Dutch. So we will now click Dutch's name. Notice Dutch's name is not highlighted yet, but as soon as you click it, it does turn that very light shade of tan. And that's it. You're queued up for the next shooter. If you had a posse of 10, you just keep going through the shooters as we have done in the last couple of minutes, and you just make sure that the shooter is queued up, and you just wait for the timer to yell out a time, and you hit the read button and add misses or a procedural, and you are doing your job. I hope this works for you, and just relax. It's a very simple process, and there'll be other people around to handle setups and any technical problem that we may have. All right? Thanks.